Yo, what's up guys, it's Knight, welcome back to another video. Let's talk about why Tribbie is potentially more dangerous than Castorice in the future of HSR. Let's go right now. Meow. Tribbie. Man, how I hate this dumb baby. Look, she's catching a lot of strays from me, I'll be honest. I don't hate her that much. I think her lore is actually pretty interesting, and she just happened to be relevant to my last video's discussion. But this video is going to be a little bit different. It's more meta-centric. Look, she can do everything. She's a Swiss Army knife. She works in pretty much any comp. She can use DDD to its utmost efficiency. She essentially has Robin's E1 on her skill. The character is very, very good already. This isn't even what has me most worried though. What worries me the most about Tribbie is her overall damage contribution to her teams. Now on paper, this doesn't seem like a huge issue, but let's divulge further into the problem with this. Look, in Genshin Impact, it took a very long time for a support to release that dealt significant damage. This unit was Furina in patch 4.2. 4.2. It took that long for us to receive a support that buffed the damage of the team that did an adequate amount of damage. Star Rail is only on patch 3.2 for comparison. Now, there are some niche supports that dealt okay damage like Kujo Sara, but she was very limited by constellations and archetype necessities. Furina herself is also limited in the sense that she requires adequate healing to be utilized. That being said, she changed the way team synergies functioned at the top of the meta-defining teams. Furina deals sub-DPS levels of damage while also being able to increase the entire team's damage output. This means that in order to reach peak construction of teams, all members of the team would ideally contribute to the overall damage pool of the team. This meant that slotting a shielder or a healer only to serve that function always acted as a detriment to the team's overall damage. Characters like Charlotte or Layla are very hard to use effectively in Genshin due to the nature of all characters needing to contribute a huge boost or meaningful damage. Essentially, a team of 4 all contributing damage synergistically will always outperform a team of 3 members contributing damage and 1 unit purely supporting. So now we are on the precipice of seeing this same thing happen in HSR with Tribbie. I'm having war flashbacks. Please, the PTSD, please. Oh no, I'm back there again. Okay, sorry. And HSR is already a game that is heavily entrenched in power creep right now. Tribbie deals a very good amount of damage and has stats in her traces designed to accentuate it. It's very worrisome with the current state of HP inflation in HSR to think of a reality in which it's not good enough that your supports increase damage. They also have to contribute to the overall team's damage in order for you to keep up with the endgame. Now, Tribbie isn't really the first example of this, but her flexibility is what creates the issue. She serves as the first of her kind. Previously, we had something like HMC, however, he is required to play in a break archetype, so his options are limited. You could even mention Ling Sha, however, she has the same caveats to her damage that HMC does, plus she is designed to heal with a few damage enhancing abilities. Ling Sha is also a huge issue though because she is in the same vein a healer that is contributing damage, which further increases my fear of needing 4 units to deal significant damage in a team. This design philosophy further diminishes the use of older units due to the fact that their lack of damage becomes a detriment, which doesn't help because they are already becoming less useful. Although I will say that Castorice has increased the need for just a pure healer, but of course we have to wait and see how Hyacine performs as a healer. What does she add extra to the team? Does she add Thanos mode, and when you snap, it's a passive that kills all enemies? Let's wait and see. Who knows? Who knows? Surely it's going to be very balanced and fair. And we can look back at a unit like Yukong. She was very seldomly used by the community. However, it is important to discuss her because she is reminiscent of the older design principles that HSR used to use. She deals significant damage as a sub-DPS-esque support. She buffs her entire team, one of the first to do this, aside from Bronyall, of course. But she had a slight focus on imaginary units, and she required good speed tuning. Also, Eidolons really helped her fluidity. This structure was reasonable, but Tribbie throws all stipulations out the window. In fact, her kit does things like adding a follow-up attack to help increase her flexibility. And Tribbie's super easy to build. Let's head down to the Dollar General. Let's grab this HP artifact. Boom, we don't need speed. Nope. Oh, and her ult also charges very fast. Let's throw DDD on her and we'll advance every other turn. Wowee, super good. These changes in design principle are serving to diminish creativity a player has when constructing teams, something that personally upsets me because it's one of my favorite elements of a gacha game. It also sets us up to delve further into power creep, and this is all aside from universal passives. I mean, let's be honest, Tribbie got power creeped also with the passives, you know? I mean, we'll have to wait and see how effective those are or how beneficial they are to have on your account, but the concept of this 3.0 character not having a passive and then this one does, that's power creep already in the same patch. This is newfound land for HSR. We are doing new things, pioneers in the space, I must say. If there's going to be power creep, at least preserve or expand on the player's ability to have diverse compositions. At least give us more options instead of creating 2 to 3 good teams within a chapter or a patch that we can use and we can have fun with and enjoy. Let's hope these old character buffs have any sort of weight on the game. I don't know. I think Castorice is the main antagonist in the community right now, understandably so. I think it's very important to have a stance on this or to allow people to have an emotional stance on this. I don't think that Castorice herself is really that deep of a character. I must say that I did get her full fui from the 30 pulls that we got, which is pretty generous actually, considering Hoyo games in the past. However, we must take into account that the volume of characters released in HSR is at a higher quantity than that of something like Genshin, right? So it is harder to keep up. Thus, the amount that we receive is diminished by the fact that we need to utilize more wishes and pools to keep up with the patch, right? So it is what it is. I feel like it has been quite generous. And I actually did hit my 5-star on her weapon banner, but I lost the 50-50. So yeah, no money spent though. I can't complain. Obviously, there are other people in other situations and, you know, just don't be dumb. Don't be stupid. Don't pick the wrong characters. Don't get excited for certain ones and then fall behind because of HP inflation, or it's your fault, right? It's not the game developer's fault. Come on. Luckily for me, I've picked the right characters, except Sunday seems a little bit left in the void. I don't know what they're doing with him. Like, did they just like add the stipulation that he can increase characters with memo sprites just so that he had some utility going forward, and there was no intention to make him a centrifugal aspect of team building going forth? I don't know. It seems like a waste of development effort, but then again, it could just be like, yeah, he's just meant to power creep Bronya. He's just meant to power creep Sparkle. So I don't know. I would like to see him get more usage though, or more dedicated usage. I think maybe I just didn't pick the right units. Maybe that's all it is. Anyways, I don't know what you guys think about all of this. Are global passives worse in your opinion? Are you enjoying the celebration so far? Hoyo's celebration for their wallets? Either way, it's been night. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hope you're having a good day. Mwah.